Are you exhausted from trying to be perfect for others? You might be silently suffering from emotional neglect, a subtle yet insidious form of emotional abuse that can leave you feeling drained and invisible. If this resonates with you, know that you're not alone, and it's time to break free. You might be wondering, why do I always put others first? Or why can't I say no without feeling guilty? The truth is, people-pleasing behavior often stems from a deep-seated fear of being unwanted or unloved. For some of us, this fear may have originated in childhood, where we grew up with caregivers who were emotionally unavailable or inconsistent. Imagine a garden that's never watered. The plants will always lean towards the sun, searching for nourishment. Similarly, when our emotional needs aren't met in childhood, we grow up learning to adapt and seek validation from others. We become like chameleons, changing colors to fit in and avoid rejection. This might look like sacrificing your own desires or interests to make someone else happy. As we continue down this path, it can lead to feelings of resentment, anger, and exhaustion, the warning signs of burnout. So, let's take a moment to reflect. Where did this people-pleasing behavior start for me? Was it in childhood, or is it a more recent development? Understanding the roots of our behavior can be a powerful step towards healing and reclaiming our emotional autonomy. If you're someone who consistently says yes to every request, even when it feels like a stretch, or if you find yourself constantly seeking validation from others, it's essential to recognize these behaviors as warning signs of burnout. Think of your energy like a bank account. With each yes and each approval-seeking interaction, you're making a withdrawal without replenishing your reserves. You may feel like you're being kind and generous, but the truth is, you're slowly draining yourself dry. Consider Sarah, who always volunteered for every project at work, often putting in extra hours to ensure everything was perfect. She thought she was being a team player, but beneath the surface, she felt resentful and depleted. Or imagine Emily, who constantly asked her partner's opinion on everything, from what to wear to what to eat for dinner. On the surface, it seemed like she valued their input, but in reality, she was seeking external validation to feel worthy. If you identify with these behaviors, take a step back and acknowledge that you're on a path to burnout. As we explore the mental health consequences of people-pleasing, I want you to consider this. What's the cost of always putting others first? For many of us, it starts with a sense of duty or responsibility, but soon becomes an exhausting habit. We overcommit, taking on too much, and then wonder why we feel drained. Imagine being a tree that's constantly bending in every direction, its roots slowly suffocating under the weight of external expectations. You might be surprised at how often people-pleasing seeps into our daily lives. A friend asks for help with a project, and you agree without even thinking about your own workload. Or you take on too much emotional labor, shouldering others' problems as if they're yours to solve. The anxiety builds up, making it hard to say no or set boundaries. I see this in my own life. I've been guilty of people-pleasing, and the guilt can be overwhelming. When we prioritize others' needs above our own, it's a recipe for burnout. And the worst part, we often don't even realize what's happening until it's too late. As people-pleasers, we're often trapped in a cycle of overthinking. We ruminate on what others might think or say, replaying conversations in our heads like a broken record. It's like being stuck in a never-ending loop of what if? What if I didn't do enough? What if I said the wrong thing? This constant mental chatter can feel overwhelming, and it's exhausting. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, replaying a conversation from earlier that day, trying to figure out what someone meant by their comment or tone? Or perhaps you've spent hours agonizing over a text message, rewriting it in your head until it meets your approval. This is the cost of people-pleasing. We're constantly second-guessing ourselves and others. I know from personal experience how this feels. I once spent an entire evening rehashing a conversation with a friend, convinced that I had offended them somehow. It took me hours to shake off the feeling of anxiety and self-doubt. By recognizing the role of overthinking in our people-pleasing behavior, we can begin to break free from this toxic cycle. As we've explored the cycle of people-pleasing, I want to gently acknowledge a painful reality. This behavior can attract toxic relationships into our lives. Think of it like being a magnet for emotional vampires. They're drawn to the constant availability, the willingness to sacrifice one's own needs and boundaries for the sake of others. It's as if we're broadcasting, "I'm here to take care of you, no matter what." And unfortunately, this can be seen as an invitation to those who seek to exploit our kindness. I've worked with women who've described themselves as being in relationships where they felt like a doormat, constantly walking on eggshells, never feeling seen or heard for their own needs and desires. It's time to recognize that people-pleasing can be a self-perpetuating cycle, attracting the very kind of relationship we're trying to escape from. As we continue down this path, let's take responsibility for acknowledging our role in creating these situations. Now that we've acknowledged our part in people-pleasing, let's talk about breaking free from the cycle. Think of your life like a garden. When you constantly water someone else's plants, your own roots start to wither away. You're silently sacrificing your needs and desires for the sake of others. Imagine going on a long-haul flight without ever getting up to stretch or move around. Eventually, you'd feel drained, exhausted, and miserable. That's what people-pleasing can do to us. It's like running on empty. By incorporating these practical strategies into your life, you'll start to recharge and refuel. You'll begin to notice the subtle signs of burnout, like feeling resentful or irritable when others ask for favors. It's okay to feel that way. It means you're recognizing the imbalance in your relationships. Now, let's move forward with some actionable steps to reclaim your voice and set healthy boundaries. Reclaiming your voice is not about being loud or confrontational. It's about being true to yourself in the midst of a relationship. Imagine you're on a hike with a friend, and they keep asking for directions, but you've been there before and know the way. Do you keep correcting them, trying to prove that you're right? Or do you let them lead, even if it means getting lost together? For people pleasers, this can be a daily struggle. We might sacrifice our own desires and needs to avoid conflict or maintain harmony in the relationship. But what's the cost of keeping quiet? Think about your relationships like a garden. If you don't water yourself, you'll wither away. You need to nurture your own voice, your own thoughts, and your own feelings. As you work towards reclaiming your voice, remember that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to disagree or say no. In fact, it's essential for building trust and respect in any relationship. And when you do make a mistake, be gentle with yourself, because self-love is the greatest love of all. As we wrap up this journey together, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the weight that's been lifted off your shoulders. You've taken the first step towards acknowledging the hidden costs of people-pleasing. It's like finally exhaling after holding your breath for too long. It feels liberating. Remember that self-awareness is not just about recognizing your patterns, but also accepting yourself exactly as you are. You're not broken or flawed. You're simply human. Think of self-care like tending to a garden. When you neglect to water and nurture the soil, weeds start to grow, and the plants begin to wither away. But when you prioritize care for yourself, you create space for growth, healing, and beauty to flourish. So, I want to leave you with a challenge. As you step out of this cycle of people-pleasing, make self-love your top priority. Be gentle with yourself, and celebrate the small wins, because every choice towards self-care is a victory. As we wrap up this conversation, I want you to remember that breaking free from people-pleasing is a journey, not a destination. It's okay to take it one step at a time, to stumble and make mistakes along the way. Because the truth is, self-love is not selfish, it's essential. You are worthy of love, care, and compassion, exactly as you are. Don't let anyone, including yourself, convince you otherwise. You are strong, capable, and deserving of kindness. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. There are so many people out there who understand what it means to feel like they're suffocating under the weight of others' expectations. Now, I want to leave you with a challenge. Take one small step today towards prioritizing your own needs and desires. It can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths before reacting to a difficult situation, or saying no to something that doesn't serve you. Whatever it is, know that it's a victory, no matter how small it may seem. If you're struggling with people-pleasing or any other mental health issue, please know that there's support available to you. You can start by seeking out resources and communities online, or reaching out to a trusted friend or family member. And if you need more guidance, I invite you to subscribe to this channel for more in-depth conversations on emotional well-being. Remember, you are not alone. There is kindness, compassion, and understanding waiting for you on the other side of this journey. Take care of yourself, and know that you're loved exactly as you are.